Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley. And wow, we got a very, very interesting show coming your way today. We're going to talk a little bit about building financial awareness, understanding growth, understanding wealth management, understanding a lot of things that I believe we need to know in order to be successful when it comes to our finance. And even if we haven't started a financial guide or plan, this young man today is going to be able to provide valuable knowledge that when you walk away from the show today, you will have an understanding. And maybe you might want to reach out to him because he's one of the best in the business. So we're going to talk about that one. Whichever platform that you are on, that you're watching us on, if you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is just go to the platform. Ask in the comment section any question that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. So let me tell you a little bit about today's show. Today's show is titled Building Financial Awareness. And the purpose of today's show is to discuss with financial consultant and owner of Goldsmith Financial, who is my good friend, Joshua Goldsmith. We're also going to discuss the economy and the market. We're going to talk a little bit about credit card debts and how all of that could get you in trouble. If you're not really aware of that, and that some of the charges that goes with the credit cards that we don't even know that being charged. So we have to be very, very cognitive of all of that. We're going to talk about student loans. Many of us had student loans. Fortunately, I don't have any more. I had student loans, and how we go about assessing that, and how we go about some of the ways to pay them off, and etc. Joshua Goldsmith is a genius in all those areas. And most importantly, we're going to discuss RAs, 401ks, and anything else that you might want to know about financial planning. So let me tell you a little bit about this guest that we have on. He's been on the show many, many times. Like I said, he is my personal financial advisor. His name is Joshua Goldsmith. He is a financial consultant and owner of Goldsmith Financial. He is a retirement specialist and help clients generate lifetime income from their retirement. Also, he helped the young, and everybody else create a plan. And he's going to talk about a lot of things. He got about 15 to 20 years experience, well-educated guy, well-versed guy. And I tell you what, without any further ado, I'm going to bring him on, and he's going to tell you a little bit more about him. How are you doing?
Good. Who is that guy you're describing? I don't know. Where is he?
How you doing, my friend? How you doing? It's always a pleasure having you on, especially when we have an opportunity to educate our viewers and our listeners and anyone else that might be listening in on the importance of financial planning, having a plan, and just generating income and wealth. So, Josh, for the people that have not seen you on the show before, can you please tell them a little bit about you, where you grew up? How did you develop this passion to help others, especially from a financial perspective?
Sure. JC, I want to just describe a little bit, like you said, what I do, and kind of give the listener also a takeaway, rather than making this all about me, because it's not about me. It's people are watching this because they want to derive something from it. I gather to say that most of the people out there, you know, do they care about me? Yeah, but they want to know like what I can do for them. Why are they watching this? How are they going to, get something to take away to benefit their lives? So my company is based on benefiting other people's lives. But it's I developed this company so that I can help other people reach their dreams, reach their long-term goals, their short-term goals, figure out where does their wealth belong to create more wealth? Where does their money belong to create more wealth? um, Basically to help investors manage their expectations on long-term growth. If people ever expect to retire, if they're working blindly, and yes, they're saving money, but they don't have any kind of projections, they don't know how long their money will last them in retirement, they don't know what kinds of investments are safe versus more risky. That's basically why my job exists, why my company exists, and what somebody in finance as a financial consultant like myself does. And so I'm the business owner. I'm a financial consultant. I am the founder of Goldsmith Financial. And it in a nutshell. But if you're looking out there for something to help you to dream, to help you to figure it out, you're not alone. There is affordable help in the financial department, and I'm one of them.
You are that, and wow, you've been doing extremely well by Michelle and I. I just want to thank you for all
Absolutely.
that you do. You know, you titled the show "Building Financial Awareness." Can you tell our viewers and listeners why this is so important for them to have an understanding and know the type of investments, know the type of plans that are needed, and just get an understanding where they can just get in their lane or find a lane
Yeah.
in order to travel.
That's exactly it. Finding a lane is what most people out there are really trying to do. Financial awareness. You go through your life. Let's say you're a government employee and you're working in some sort of management department, environmental department, um, and you're working 8 hours, 9 to 5 every day. You got weekends. You're 35 years old. You have a couple of kids, and what time do you have to actually create financial, your financial plan, your awareness? Are you relying on the government to take care of you? Do government jobs pay well? I would say yes. They do take care of their employees, but do they take care of them in retirement? They got to check themselves. They need somebody, an independent. You need to have some financial awareness, uh, and seek help if you need it to get to where you think you want to go. And ask yourself: is the risk attainable? Is this goal attainable? Is it realistic? You know, uh, like the SMART goals, specific, do you have a specific goal? Is it measurable? Is it attainable? Is it realistic? And is it timely? That's the SMART acronym that has been around for quite some time. But yeah, being, financially aware is extremely important.
You know, Josh, how would you describe the economical status or the market today? I'm talking about right now. I mean, because it changes all the time.
Well, yeah, as far as the economics, this in terms of the market, JC.
Economy.
I mean, there's so many different things when you bring that up, right? We're turning subjects a little bit because we're talking about, okay, let's talk about the stock market. When I say stock market, it can mean the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones Industrial Average. These are all indexes that are supposed to reflect how the overall markets are doing. And we recently hit all-time highs, and I think, what time is it? I think we're there today as well. We're starting to things have turned around quite a bit from COVID, and let's look at this. The unemployment rates are low, which is another indicator of how the economy is doing. 3.5% unemployment rate, with a long-term average of 5.7%. So unemployment is pretty low. Stock market's high. You have interest rates where, we talk about interest rates. Where are they? You get a 30-year fixed home, mortgage. Today is the average is 7.07%. Whereas, the 30-year, since 1971, when Freddie Mac started following it, it's 7.74%. So overall interest, even though they've come up, right? We saw them at 2.65, all-time low, by the way, just a couple of years ago in 2021. And from 2.65 to where we are at 7.07, I mean, yes, it's a big leap, and people are feeling it. I think they're sticker shock on that. But overall, if you're looking at the history of rates, they're still attractive. Home prices are another economic. We can talk about, JC, but I don't know if how deep you want me to go into this answer.
No. Well, only thing I was saying was the climate. Current climate and what was driving that, and you was getting off into that one. What's driving the current climate? Because I think we did hit 38,000 not too long ago, and I know from a political perspective, I think the president is doing an absolutely great job because it's looking good, but.
Well, not to play politics though with portfolios. See, the one of the most important thing that investors should not get carried away with is who the president's going to be for them to decide if they're going to invest a chunk of money when they just sold a house and they have cash available, or if they have a portfolio they've been investing for a long time and they're scared. History, if it tells us anything, whether the Democrats or Republicans or whoever is in office in the executive chair, it's not affecting corporate performance to the drastic. Is there a risk? Yes, political risk is a risk. It is listed as an official risk in the universe of risks, but it's one of many. And can it be managed? Yes. I don't know. That's where we're at there, JC.
No. We okay. We're gonna take a station break, but we're gonna come back. We're gonna pick it up, and we're gonna dive into some of the things that you recommend our viewers and listeners do, educate them if they are thinking about investing, or if they don't know how to invest. We're gonna give them some points and tips on where to get started and how to determine what to invest in. So whichever platform that you're watching this on, if you want to be part of this great conversation, all you have to do is just go to the platform, comments portion of it, ask any questions that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break. I never wanna leave. Yeah, I'm right where I wanna be. It's something you and me. And I can't get rid of this feeling. Just like a magnet, we're just like a magnet. The thing Welcome back to James Cooley Show. It's Your Life, and we got Joshua Goldsmith here and educating us. And first segment is always get to know, get an understanding of just Josh, and to set the stage for the next three segments, which we are going to do now. So we were talking about the economic environment of investment as it is today, because it changes all the time. I believe the markets, everything changed. But one thing that's a common factor that should not change is you investing in the future. I think that should always be a goal. I think if you haven't already started, you might want to consider getting an understanding of how to do that. And so that's what we're getting ready to talk about right now. So
Absolutely.
Josh, yeah. Hey Josh, so with that point, what would you tell a person that have not fully invested in anything, but sitting back, just contemplating when should they get started, how should they get started, why should they get started? What would you tell?
Well, you nailed it right there when you said invest in yourself, right? A lot
Yes.
of people are, trying to invest in other people's ideas or spread their money out and think that it's going to come back to them in some way. Number one, you got to invest in yourself. Uh, do you believe in yourself? And how do you invest in yourself? So, how to invest in yourself is to pay yourself first. So you're making $10. Can you take $2 of that and give it to yourself? Now it'd be $20 on 100, 200 on 1,000, etc. You're going to have to start to do that and to think about how you're going to help yourself attain a greater degree of financial independence and work towards doing that. A simple rule of thumb. Look, if you start, it also depends on your age. It depends on your risk tolerance. It depends on your time horizon. You've heard probably a lot of times from other different, financial people out there. But let's just take an example. If you put $500 away in an account a month, and you did it for 35 years. So if you're 20 years old out there, by the time 20, 30, 40, 50, by the time you're 55, which is, a little older than me right now, not much. How much would you have? JC, this is kind of an interactive conversation as far as this part goes, but I can fill in the blank. You're going to invest $210,000 over a 35-year period. At the end of the period, with the average S&P 500 10% per year compounded, and I did a monthly compound calculation, you're going to have $1.9 million. Paying yourself, it is a choice, but for folks that are in their, early to mid 20s, it's an obligation, in my opinion. It's a subjective statement, right? It's saying it's an obligation, but how are you going to get there? How are you going to get from here to there? That's what financial planning is. It's helping somebody else get from here, where they're at now, to there, where they want to be, where they envision, what their goals are, what their dreams are. And in order to do it, you have to relinquish some control to somebody else sometimes, like an investment advisor, to make sure you're not shooting yourself in the foot.
You're absolutely right, Josh. And so, what about the investor? When should they just lock in and say, "Hey, I need to start doing this. I need to start." And how do I know what to invest in? What type of investments? And how do I get started?
Yeah, you have to start the conversation first. Talk to the people closest to you. Say, hey, I'm thinking about this. What do I do? Get their advice, because those are the people that you value the most opinions anyways. And if I tell you, if you're hearing it here saying, oh, go talk to a financial consultant, you're gonna be like, yeah, I'm going to go talk to my mom. Or I'm going to go talk to my sister or brother, whoever's closest to you. And you're going to take that water, we call it water cooler financial advice, because, when you're at that work and you're sitting around on break, standing around the water cooler, hey, we just got a bonus. What should we do with it? And we all decide to invest in a penny stock, and, we lose the money for 1 year. And then the next year comes around and we decide this, hey, this year we're going to put it into a couple of options. you know Talk to the people that you love, that are closest to your heart first, and tell them what you're thinking. They're going to help ground you. They're going to help talk to you, and you're going to figure out that, hey, there are actual financial consultants, advisors, financial professionals out there that can give you the projections. They can show you, hey, if we do this, and in the very worst scenario, this is what happens. In the best scenario, this is where we are. They can help you to build wealth. Okay, not get rich quick. It's wealth and getting rich are two different things, as I'm sure we've heard a million times. But really, where we all want to be is building that wealth, is helping ourselves realize that we are good enough to have that and to take care of ourselves.
You mentioned building wealth, and that's so important because I believe that generational wealth has to start somewhere. I
Sure.
mean, and I don't believe you're ever too old to start building wealth, generating wealth, and also get your kids or grandkids involved in this and start investing in them as well.
Yeah.
Well, for some of the older folks out there might be listening, we talk about legacy, we talk about generational wealth.
Mhm.
If they were thinking, well, maybe I'm too old right now, and I, 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 I don't have a whole lot of money, what recommendation would you give?
You're never too old to build wealth, because really the premise is that you're doing it upon a foundation of good choices. And so from day one, even with 500 bucks, if you're making good choices with $500, you're building wealth for day two. Day two, you now have 500, maybe, and a penny. Maybe you earned a penny on that as interest. Maybe you lost a penny, but the fact is if you're moving in the right direction towards your goal and directing your money, taking control of your income and direct your money where you want it to go, rather than having it obligations every month. Hey, I've got, I'm making $3,500 a month, and I have $2,200 in obligation going out, and another $1,000 in obligation going out. So I've only got a couple $100, and then taxes. And now I'm upside down, and I got to take credit cards. This is a life lived in a panic. What I'm just described. This is a life lived in disarray and without regard to yourself, your well-being. You're not paying attention to where you're at. And in our society, it often gets overlooked and encouraged to live this way, living in a rat race. We're trying to get from point A to point B as fast as we can, because, hey, we got to get to work on time. We got to punch in on time. We got to make sure we take all our breaks on time. There's so many things that are weighing in on us that we forget to look. Are we living within our means? A huge factor to consider if we're living within our means. But it's never too early to start investing, and it's never too late, especially if you're wanting to create a legacy and to hand things off to the next generation.
You know, you mentioned living within the means, and many of us don't even understand what means is a means.
Mm.
Because we got credit cards, we got all these other type of things out there. We want to keep up with the Joneses. If somebody buy a new car or something like that, even though we can't afford it, we can run out there and get it just to do all of these things. We have no plan on how to budget. And we're just living from day to day.
What is the budget? I mean, we spent almost $1 trillion on Christmas, on the holiday season. Americans spent $995 billion. Okay, that is quite a bit. So we spent that just on the holidays. Now, I'm not saying, hey, we're the Grinch here over here and don't spend money, but Christmas comes and the holidays come, Hanukkah comes the same time every year. We know it's coming, December 25th. You don't have to, wait till November or in December to spend money and you can plan it out. And the longer you plan it out, the more sensible and the more meaningful the gifts are going to be, and the easier they can be. When people are in a panic and they spend more money, and because they want to prove that they love somebody. Well, why don't they think about that throughout the year and plan what they're going to give somebody? That person's going to love them even more if they can take care of themselves. You don't have to spend a lot of money on your loved ones, so to show that you love them. And we should understand that.
You're absolutely right about that one. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to take a station break, and we're going to come back and we're going to talk about some of the ways you can just cut back, save, and invest your money. One of the things is the credit cards. Credit cards. Those credit cards will get you in trouble if you let it. Just because you got this little plastic card doesn't mean that you got money. And there are consequences with that. So, Josh, when we come back, I want to talk about that one. I want you to go in depth with that. I think you got a couple of buddies there that you want to introduce to people to. Whichever platform that you're watching us on, if you want to be part of the conversation, dive in. Just go to the comment section. Ask any questions that you might have. I'm sure this great professional right here, expert, will get you an answer. Yes. In your life, we'll see you shortly after the break.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? And everything that you do.
I've seen a smile convey I love you. I'm proud of who you are, and one that keeps us close when we're apart. Talking from the darkness of all that we've been through, it seems that there might be a way to leave behind the loneliness we've known and live again life of need.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and our great friend Joshua Goldsmith is educating us. I'm telling, just breaking it down. Some of the things that we might want to consider, and one of the things is investments. I believe that we must have an understanding that just because we got it today, if we don't invest that, some of it, part of it, we might not have nothing tomorrow. Let me say that one more time. We might have a little something right now. We want to go out and spend everything and do this, and thinking that it's going to be like this every single day. If you don't plan, if you don't budget, unless you just don't have to do all these things, you just filthy rich and you don't have to worry about that. But many of us not. And so I believe that we have to have a plan, and a plan, and that means spending plan on what we need, not what we want. Now, and then wrong, get some of the things that you want, but if everything that you want is not a need, and if you don't have the lavish and champagne money, so I always say a lot of people go out and they got a champagne taste, and they want to continue to have that champagne, but they got beer money. Champagne taste with beer money. And they spend, and especially with these things called credit cards. Like, I got money because I got this card. As long as I got this card, I ain't worried about nothing.
False sense of security.
Josh, I led you into that one. I want you to talk about that.
Credit card, okay, I wrote something down because I knew credit cards was going to come up. So the U.S., we are currently in $1.079 trillion in credit card debt as of January this year. Now, that's just a number. Nobody actually can conceive the number I just mentioned. Just to kind of break it down a little bit, a trillion is 1,000 billions. Now, we're still in the realm where nobody can conceive what I just mentioned, but what is a billion? A million millions. Okay, we don't even know. We can't even conceive a million. It's like that's 12 zeros, JC. 12 zeros. Basically, it would be 32 years for a trillion seconds. Okay, so we are in 32 years worth of seconds worth of credit card debt. How does this really? Who cares, right? Well, the thing is that this is the way we're living our lives. The Americans are planning for MasterCard to be on their payroll. They want Visa on their payroll. And guess what? You go to New York City, you go to some of these high rises, and you see their logo. They don't see your name on those buildings. They see their name on those buildings because they're making money off of hardworking Americans' back. How do we get these companies off of our back, out of our lives? Student loans is another thing that I hope we can talk about. I mean, student loan debt, we're in almost double student loan debt that we are in credit card debt. Student loans are, the debt is just astronomical, and people live as if the payment is a normal thing to student loans. We've got to change the way that our outlook from get rich mentality to I'm going to be wealthy. I'm going to start today, because you give yourself more power. It's empowering to give yourself the decision-making ability and the wherewithal to say, hey, enough is enough. I'm going to create that budget. I'm going to get with my significant other. We're going to create this budget, like it or not. This is the budget. And if you can't do Excel, and if you can't do Word, or if you can't do any kind of technical thing, get a pen and paper, because you know how much you're spending on utilities. You know how much your rent is, your mortgage, your credit cards, how much it is to pay it off. We could do a calculation on how long it will take to pay off those credit cards. Credit cards steal the soul from people, because they make you think that you have more money than you do. If credit cards didn't exist, let's take a look at that for a second. No credit cards existed. We're not able to spend a penny more than we make every month. How would a big part of the country would be in trouble, because they couldn't continue to go into debt, more debt every month. They're going into debt. A lot of people are going into debt every month. A lot of people are going into debt, more debt every month, because they're just a little bit more. Hey, they're living a little bit outside their means. They got to have that BMW. They got to have that $700 a month car payment. For what? To sacrifice your retirement so that you can't retire 5 years earlier? Would you rather retire 5 years earlier, or make a credit card payment to MasterCard? My credit cards, JC, they just came in the mail. They come every couple of years, because they want me to spend. They got me there, right? They got these credit cards. They got that they spend the brand new credit cards that they got, because they want me to spend. And I do this every time they come, JC. We're going to cut them up, okay? We're cutting up credit cards, cutting up Visa, MasterCard, JC. And here's another Visa card. Bye-bye. I just cut up $35,000 in free money, okay? I don't care about the points, because it's a facade. It's false security. They promise you something, and in return they're hoping and they're waiting for the day that you slip up, and it only takes one time for you to slip up where they're going to make all that money back. They're going to give you free airline tickets. They're going to give you free tickets to a sporting event. But where is that money coming from? That money is coming from the backs of other people that couldn't afford to pay for their credit cards, and those credit card companies charged an extra $50, and now they're giving it to you. So they don't even pay for it. They're making money. It's at our expense. So bye-bye.
Hey man, I like how you just got rid of a couple of your friends, man. Like that.
Those aren't my friends, Those are the enemy. And the other thing is student loan debt. It's like we live with debt. It's like we sit. Dave Ramsey is a great guy. Who has his own podcast, right? He's like, you're only gonna change your life when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. When are you going to be sick and tired of being sick and tired? Stand up for yourself. Get rid of this debt, because debt is truly the enemy from preventing you from reaching financial freedom, financial independence, or taking a step towards reaching those goals. You have a goal. You want to, you haven't been to Europe. You haven't been overseas. You've never been out of your own state. You barely come out of your own city. The rat race is real. People are on the wheel, the hamster wheel. They're going round and round and round and round. And, before you know it, you're 60, 70 years old, and you're no longer in good health. Maybe you finally made the money to go to ABC, wherever you want to go, but you're not in good health, and you can't go there because it's too late. Don't let it be too late, because today is the day that you can decide. It's the beginning of the year that you're going to make a change.
And how would you recommend people? And we're going to talk about student debt in the next segment. But what would you tell folks, that is always borrowing cash against the credit card? They don't know if they don't know that they're borrowing it. They just go to the ATM machine and get it, and not understanding that you reach a certain point, and most of these cards are 18 at 20% interest rates.
Well, as far as the debit card, JC, versus a credit card, and some people think they're the same thing, and they're not. You can get a debit card with a Visa logo, and you could charge it. The merchant can take it and charge it as a credit card. But if it's just a debit card, you can have the logo on it, whatever logo it is, and it would come out of your cash account, right? It would come out of your checking or savings account. But when you got a credit card and you're putting it into these machines and you're using a PIN number and you're taking cash advances, first of all, a lot of these companies will charge you just $250 minimum cost just for a cash advance. So if you're taking $1,000 out and they're charging you 25%, that's just an immediate minimum charge that they charge you. What are you doing? Did someone in the hospital? We gotta beef up our emergency funds, because what I just did is I cut up those cards. It's like, I've planned to live without them. Believe me, I grew up just like you did. Using those credit cards. I learned the hard way. I wasn't just born. I grew up and I'd never used credit cards in my life. No, I had credit card debt. I was there. I was drowning in it, but I clawed my way out from experience, and I'm trying to help other people do the same thing, because there is no path to financial independence when you're paying, when you're just getting by and you're floating, you're not paying yourself, and you have Sally Mae, on your payroll, when you have Visa on your payroll, credit card cash advances. I mean, why are you doing it? For what?
You're right. Hold that though, because we got to take a station break. But we come back, we're gonna finish this up and jump on the student loan. That's a big deal right now, and especially our young folks, and not just young folks, but people that went to college and now they're making you pay the piper. Josh is going to explain a little bit about that and how you can go about paying down or paying off all your student loans, because it's important. And I know that sometimes that get in the way of really building your life. So for whichever platform that you're watching this on, you want to be part of this conversation, all you have to do is go to the comments, ask any question that you might have. Remember, it's your life. And we'll see you shortly after the break. Hello, I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley from the United States of America, and I am here to just say, first of all, I'm so happy and honored to be honored to be in the Coffee Book 2023. Unified Brain Z and the other organizations, thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this collection.
Shoulder Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life, and my absolutely fantastic guest, Joshua Goldsmith, is bringing it, like always, educating us, and also giving us an understanding that certain things we might have to push back on. Especially when he got me when he started cutting up them credit cards. I wasn't expecting that one, so he kind of got me on that one. But I think that's what we need to do.
Yeah,
you only need one. I mean, you only need one, and debt will pile up on you. And one thing, Josh, that I have to say about Michelle and I, we tried to pay cash for everything and not have all of this debt and et cetera. And we try to live within our means. I ain't just gonna go out and buy something just because somebody else got it. I don't care. That's yours.
Yeah.
And we know that we don't count other people's money.
Yeah.
That's the biggest mistake that many of us have when we start, well, so-and-so got this and got that and got this, so I gotta get this and I gotta get that. Stay in your lane.
Underrated, underrepresented, underrated fact that you just mentioned, living within your means. I know I talked about it earlier, but you and Michelle do it, and it's so important. It's so important. You got to assess where you are today, and people can get carried away, especially in relationships where maybe one spouse handles the finances and the other one really, doesn't maybe as much. There has to be that communication there. Otherwise, how are you going to get ahead if you're not talking about these important things?
You're right. And Josh, I want to switch it a little bit because we have a lot of kids that came out of college, young adults, and even older adults that got a huge amount of student debt. And they was able to get away because we was thinking that a lot of that was going to be part of the student debt forgiveness program. But that seemed to have backfired. What recommendation would you give the folks that have student debt and making money, but are not paying them off because they still hoping?
Yeah.
And it's going to continue to pile in interest rates and et cetera. What are your thoughts on
that? Has anybody out there had an enemy in their life? Someone that has hurt them, that they don't like, an ex, some experience some sort of evil that has done damage to them? Okay, they need to look at this student debt as that person. Fire them, fire at them. Take a shot, because every time you make that minimum payment, they're cheering. They don't want you to pay off your debt. As nice as they are when you call them up, they're nice because the nicer they are, hey, you enjoyed that interaction? You want to have another interaction? Call us next month. Yeah, we'll help you. Yeah, we'll give you a forbearance. We're going to charge you interest along the way, but yeah, you don't have to make a payment for 6 months. Don't worry about it. We're going to charge you interest for 6 months retroactively when you start making payments again, but don't worry about it. You got to treat them as the enemy. Call them up today and pay $100 off. Get their heads spinning. Like, what's going on? It's $100 extra. They've been making minimum payments for 3 years. What? You get their attention. You think it's all just computer systems. There are people behind these companies that loan money that are winning when you're making the minimum payment. You have to put it on your radar. You have to pay attention to it. You have to have the discussions about it. You have to be aware how much you owe based on the payments that you're making today. When will you get this paid off? You can't discharge it in bankruptcy. It doesn't happen. So if you think about bankruptcy, student loan's going to be there. It's going to haunt you like like your mother-in-law. It's going to haunt you. It's going to be there. I'm just kidding. I love my mother-in-law, but it's going to be there. Student loans, $1.77 trillion we owe in student loan. The U.S., our debt, the United States debt, is $34 trillion. We're a country of debt, and guess what? Only the top. What is it? Not even 1%. What, the ultra wealthy, the real wealth. And why is that? If everyone's using debt and there's only 1% of the people that are on top, the wealthy, the real wealth is on top, they're not using debt. They're paying cash. And so student loans for people just starting off, for people with young kids out there, JC, set up your college savings plan. Let's plan it. Kids get 18 years. You got 18 years before they start going to college. There are 529 plans that you can set up with their tax deferred, their tax benefits. The money comes out tax free when it's used for qualified expenses at 4-year institutions. Always talk to a tax advisor when you're talking about tax issues. 529 plans are great. You can do a Pell Grant, JC. The Pell Grants are for people that can't afford 100% of the school tuition, right? You can look. Your parents can look at a parent PLUS loan, right? It's a parent loan for undergraduate student. Now this is a loan that your parents have to pay. So you don't have to pay if you're going to school, right? Your parents are going to be responsible. Let's make them responsible. No, but my point is let's plan it along the way, because it's not something that just hits us, sideswipes us. It's not an expense that creeps, that is all of a sudden there. It's planned just like Christmas every year. We spend $1 trillion on Christmas every year. We know it's coming. We got about 12 months. Just under 12 months before the holiday season. If we plan, why can't we pay half of that and use $500 billion for some of these other needs that we have in this country? This is a free capitalist, right? We're in a free society. We decide where our tax dollars go, essentially, theoretically, ideally. But if we take that power and we decide that we're going to do it together, we can do anything. We live in the greatest country on earth.
Hey man, first of all, we're almost out of time. But my mother-in-law, I know you're watching the show. I love you. I don't care what Josh said about that. You my girl. Hey Josh, man, we got about a minute. What is the most important takeaways that you want our viewers and our listeners to get from this discussion? 35 seconds.
Okay. Biggest takeaway is to care about yourself and pay attention. Wake up, people. Know where you want to go and decide that you're going to take action today to get there tomorrow. There's help out there, and I'd be happy to help anybody with a free consultation as well.
Tell them how they can get in touch with you real quickly.
goldsmithfinancial.net is my website. You can reach me. You can call JC. He can get you in touch with me. Just keep doing what you're doing. Expecting different results is the definition of insanity. So if you want to do it different and get to a different place, you got to change your habits today.
Gotcha. Josh, I want to thank you.
Thank you, JC. It's been a pleasure.
Coming on the show. I got to thank Dr. Michelle Cooley for putting together another absolutely fantastic show. Most importantly, I'd like to thank our viewers and our listeners for tuning in to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Can I say it?
Can I say it? Yeah, yes. Always
dream big, think big, and be big in everything that you do. It's your life.
We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. It's your life.